Hi you guys, my name is Taylor and today we're going to take a walking tour through one of the most historic spots in Dallas, the Millermore plantation house and the village of the 19th century with the buildings that surround it. The Millermore house was built in the 1850s by a man named William Brown Miller. He moved to Dallas from Missouri and became one of the richest landowners in the area. And just like many other wealthy people back then, he used enslaved African Americans to help build his home and work on his land. This house is even the biggest southern old-style home left in Dallas. When you walk inside, you see big rooms, fancy furniture, and really tall ceilings. And it was all made to show off how rich the family was, but it was also very important to remember that all of the enslaved people who were enslaved at the time did all the hard work to make that life possible for them. Over here we have the yellow general store, the Bone Bros. It came from a small town in Texas that was built in the 1870s, and back then people came here to buy food, tools, and other things that they needed. It was also a safe place to hang out and hear the latest news. Next to Bone Bros was the Alamo Salon. The salons were meant for the men to relax, talk about business, play games like poker and gamble, and this really just shows what the bars looked like in the 1800s. Then we have the doctor's office. A long time ago, doctors really didn't have hospitals like they have today. Doctors usually saw patients in a small room or small offices or even visited them at home. And if you looked inside, you could even see the old tools that they used for their medicine. And next to that doctor's office, there was a dentist's office. In the late 1800s, dentists were starting to have their own places to pull teeth, do fillings, or do dentures. And inside, when you see all of the old medical tools, they truly remind us of how limited and sometimes dangerous healthcare could be back then. And if you look behind the larger houses like Millermore, you'll notice that there's small rundown sheds and outdoor buildings. And they might not look all that impressive, but they were essential for daily life. Families used them for cooking, smoking meat, storing tools, and keeping livestock. Even most of the wealthiest homes depended on these plain structures to hold their house and keep it running. Every single one of these buildings, the big house, the store, the saloon, the doctor's, the dentist's office, and all the small sheds helps us know what life truly looked like 100 years ago in Dallas. But there's a deeper message here. The Millermore house shows us how rich families lived and what they did, but the real work here was done by enslaved African Americans. They helped build the house, they worked the land, and they kept everything running. But their names and stories will never be told because they were left out. And I think that that's why this place is important, because it helps us remember the truth about all of our history, and not just the big houses, but the people who built them. Although there are no slave cabins still standing at Millermore, these small sheds and work buildings behind the house remind us of where they likely cooked, worked, and lived. Their labor made everything at Millermore possible, from their fancy furniture into the clean house and their fields. This village is a monument for those who could not tell their story, for the African Americans who were forced to live and work under slavery. Understanding their struggle is an important part of understanding American history as a whole. Thank you for joining me on this tour of the Millermore Plantation House in that Dallas Heritage Village. The site never shows us only old buildings, but it helps us understand the history behind them. By learning about this history, we can continue to make sure that their stories aren't forgotten and remember the truth even when it's uncomfortable. So things cannot be repeated, and we can continue to learn and grow as human beings. Thank you.